If you're looking for baseball's best top-to-bottom division, look no further than the American League East. The Yankees kept Aaron Judge in the Bronx and added another arm to their rotation in Carlos Rodon. Now they just need to stay healthy, fend off challengers within their own division, and take the next step towards a 28th World Series ring. The Blue Jays gave New York all they could handle down the stretch, but a disappointing wild-card exit has this team thirsty for more in 2023. Down in Tampa Bay, the Rays will do what the Rays do. Take a talented roster and make life unbearable for teams that appear better on paper. A 31-win, year-over-year improvement made the Orioles the feel-good story of 2022. With a little more success this season, the next chapter of that story could see Baltimore returning to the postseason for the first time since 2016. Even Boston, which has finished 5th in 2 of the last 3 years, has reason to believe if the breaks bounce their way, they could find themselves in contention for a wild card spot. What to make of the American League Central, where questions abound entering the 2023 season? Will the White Sox, the division's most talented team on paper, bounce back from a frustrating .500 season and reassert themselves as the team to beat? Can the Guardians, an afterthought at the start of 2022, maintain the white-hot finish that brought them within 1 win from the ALCS and push for the Central's top spot? Does Minnesota shrug off a disappointing September and become a postseason contender in 2023? Will Detroit or Kansas City turn a corner and challenge for a spot in the top half of the division? Or is their time still a few years away? Let's not overthink this, okay? With 4 Fall Classic appearances in the last 6 years and 2 World Series titles, the Houston Astros will be the favorites in the West until further notice, and a serious threat to go back-to-back. Of course, that doesn't mean the rest of the division is going to lay down for the Stros. Far from it. The Mariners broke a 20-year postseason drought last season, won a wild-card series, and have the pieces in place to make some real noise again in 2023. For the second straight offseason, the Rangers made a free agent splash, signing ace Jacob deGrom to anchor the rotation. Texas expects to take a real step forward this year. The Angels haven't finished above .500 since 2015 and haven't won a playoff game since 2009, but they still have a pair of generational talents atop the roster that will strike fear into American League heavyweights if the rest of the pieces fall into place. In Oakland, the A's are definitely in a transitional phase, but it's not in the franchise's DNA to stay down for too long. Fasten your seatbelts as the NL East features 3 teams that realistically believe they can win a world championship. The Phillies snuck into the postseason a year ago, then steamrolled their way to the World Series. With Trey Turner joining an already fearsome lineup, Philly feels it has the pieces to go all the way in 2023. The Mets won 101 games in 2022 and then arguably won the offseason. Justin Verlander joins Max Scherzer atop the rotation. And with a top 5 offense, the Mets will be tough to beat. Of course, the Braves are still stacked, having finished atop the division 5 years running, and are only a year removed from winning it all in 2021. Don't expect Atlanta to give up their hold on the top spot without a fight. And for the Marlins and Nationals, it's likely another year of playing spoilers and working towards better days in the future. The National League Central is a division in flux, with every team looking to turn a new page in 2023. The Cardinals enter the season as defending division champs, building on 4 straight postseason appearances. But 2023 marks the start of a new era, as reigning NL MVP Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are now the faces of the franchise. The Brewers saw their own postseason streak end in 2022. They still have championship-caliber starting pitching, but the offense needs to find its footing if Milwaukee hopes to be playing in October. On the north side, The Cubs made strong offseason moves, highlighted by the signing of Dansby Swanson, as they look to reverse a 2-year slide that left them as little more than a divisional afterthought. The Reds were a surprise postseason participant in 2020, then lost 22 of 25 to start last season. They'd love to flip the script again and surprise the naysayers in 2023. Meanwhile, the Pirates are hoping a mixture of promising young talent and veteran leadership will ultimately pay heavy dividends in the years to come. Is the Dodgers' decade of dominance coming to an end? It seems hard to even fathom, considering LA won 111 games a year ago and ran away with its 9th division title in the last decade. But just down the coast, the Padres are flying high after eliminating LA from the postseason, and they just keep adding to an already stacked roster as the gap between the two clubs appears to be shrinking. Things are also tightening up in the middle of the division. The Giants couldn't sustain the success of their 107-win 2021 season and need to work their way back into contender status. In the desert, Arizona rebounded from a disappointing 2021 and feel they have a solid foundation on which to build. The Rockies rebuild finds the franchise in the unfamiliar position of leaning on a talented pitching staff. And anything close to a .500 season will be a massive step forward.